1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. The Bible tells us, the New Living Translation I'll be reading. It says, give all your worries and cares to God, for He cares for you. We can see we have a solution. We have a solution. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. It says, give all your worries and cares to God, for He cares about you. Lay it at the feet of the cross unto Jesus, and let Him carry your burdens. Jesus said we could cast all our cares on Him because He cares for us. There is nothing we are going through that we cannot cast onto the Lord. Nothing. In this earth, we are, it is certain that we are going to go through, one problem or the other. There's no human being on earth that does not have problems. There's no human being on earth that does not have a body in their heart. No human being on earth. Another example, when we're talking about a body, a real example of a body is a donkey. For some part of the world, we know that donkey are used as a transporter of goods. That is a real body. Having those heavy goods on that donkey is a real body. We can see the weight placed on that donkey and how heavy it is by just looking at it. Then imagine if such weight is being carried by a human being. Just imagine if that kind of weight that is placed on the donkey is carried by a human being. At least the donkey was not, did not carry the load willingly. But we ourselves, we are carrying our burden willingly. One way or the other, we find ourselves carrying burdens willingly. A lot of people has willingly normalized burdens in their lives and carries it around whenever they go and believe it to be okay. Can we imagine? A lot of people, they carry the burdens in their heart, they carry the burdens around. Believing is okay. Believing in sickness is okay. Believing poverty is okay. It's not. It is not. It is not. As children of God, we must never believe that the body is okay. We must never believe that, sickness, diseases, afflictions are okay. Never. We should never believe that, because we are from the household of God. We are children of God. We are children of faith. That's who we are. Psalm 55, verse 22. Psalm 55, verse 22. The New Living Translation says, give your burden to the Lord, and He will take care of you. He will not permit the godly to sleep and to fall. These are, the promises of God for you and I. The promises of God for every one of us. Give your burden to the Lord. Give your burden to the Lord. Stop carrying it around. Stop carrying those burdens around. Give it to the Lord. The Bible said that He will not permit the godly to do what? To fall. He will not permit the godly to sleep and to fall. Give your burden to the Lord. So now let's look at how does the burden affect one's life. Now we're going to look at that. How does the burden affect one's life? I'm going to use a glass cup and water as an illustration. Can I have it, please? I'm going to use a glass cup with water in it as an illustration of how does the burden, affect our life. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. So we can look at this glass cup. I was watching something on social media some time ago, and that was how this message came to be. And I looked at it, I was like, okay, now let's bring this into spiritual aspect of it. Then you can see this glass. It's half full, isn't it? Everyone can see it. It's half full, okay? Who can tell me the weight of it? Does anyone know the weight of it? The ounce of this? Nobody. See? Okay. This glass cup, it does not change as it is. It stays the way it is. Okay? Now let's go forward. How long do you think I can carry this glass cup before my hands begin to ache? How long?
As long as your hands can carry.
As long as my hand can carry. Thank you, sir. You know, as long as my hand can carry. And that can mean, in 30 minutes time. It can mean in 40 minutes time. It can mean in 1 hour's time, even in 2 hours. We can see it's very small, but it can cause a huge damage. It can cause a huge damage. So the weight of the glass does not change, but the longer I carry it, the heavier and uncomfortable it becomes. This is a body. Over time, it becomes a body. Sometimes we might say that, in the beginning, it's just a glass cup. It's nothing. That's a body. It comes into our life, we feel it's nothing. But over time, it becomes unbearable. This is a body. Amen. So, as I said, the weight of the glass does not change, but the longer I carry it, the heavier and uncomfortable it becomes. My arms become numb and paralyzed. These are the way the bodies we carry around is. The glass cup represents the bodies we carry around, the stress of life, the worries of life, the pains of life, the sorrow, the disappointment, the failure, the unforgiveness, the stagnation, the unfruitfulness, the jealousy, and the hatred we carry around. That's what that glass cup represents. How about the time? The time represents the longer we carry them around, the more our bodies are multiplying. Don't forget, a body multiplies, when we think it is nothing. So, the longer a body stays in one's life, it begins to gain a foothold in our lives until we decide to do what? To drop it and ask God for help. These are examples of what happens on a daily basis. How we carry worries, pain, hatred, unforgiveness, and so on and so forth. These are the things bodies represent. You and I determines how long a body stays in our life. Does everyone believe that? We determine. We are the one that determines if the body will stay permanently or goes. When we say enough is enough to those bodies, that is the first step of getting it lifted and removed permanently. Let's see what the Bible is telling us in John 16:33. John 16:33. Can somebody read it for me? John 16:33, please. I want to confirm that is what my Bible is saying, is what yours are saying as well. John 16:33, please.
These things I have spoken unto you,